In the vibrant 1970s, sandwiches weren't just meals. They were a reflection of creativity, culture, and the changing times. From the smoky tang of a sloppy Joe to the indulgent crunch of a fried chicken sandwich, these lunchtime classics were the heart and soul of every kitchen. Today, we're diving into the sandwiches that once graced lunchboxes and diner menus, but have since faded into history. Let's rediscover the meals that defined a decade and honor the flavors that made the 70s unforgettable. Dish number 1, the chicken salad sandwich. The chicken salad sandwich is a meal that can transport you to a simpler time, a picnic in the park, a quick lunch in the office, or even a sunny Sunday afternoon at home. Back in the 1970s, this sandwich was a lunchtime favorite, and for good reason. It was creamy, comforting, and an effortless way to make use of leftover chicken. But what really set it apart was the balance of flavors. Tender chicken mixed with crunchy celery, sweet grapes, and a silky mayonnaise dressing, all nestled between soft slices of bread. It was the perfect marriage of flavors and textures, giving you that satisfying bite of comfort. The 1970s were a time of experimentation with ingredients. For many home cooks, it was the first time they'd used Dijon mustard in their chicken salad, or the first time they tossed in a handful of grapes for a bit of unexpected sweetness. It wasn't just about eating, it was about playing with flavors in a way that felt fresh and exciting. The chicken salad sandwich was an easy-to-make dish that could be dressed up for any occasion, whether it was served at a ladies' luncheon or tucked inside a lunchbox for a school day. You can make the dish with cooked chicken breast or leftover roast chicken, mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, celery, finely chopped, red grapes, sliced, salt, pepper, soft sandwich bread, white or wheat. Start by cooking your chicken breast. You can either boil it until it's fully cooked and tender or roast it in the oven, whatever works best for you. Once the chicken is cooked and cooled, chop it into bite-sized pieces. In a medium bowl, combine the chopped chicken with mayonnaise and a spoonful of Dijon mustard. The mustard adds a subtle tang that pairs wonderfully with the rich mayo. Add finely chopped celery for a bit of crunch and sliced grapes for a sweet burst of flavor. Season with salt and pepper to taste, making sure everything is well combined. Now, take 2 slices of your chosen bread, whether it's soft white or hearty whole wheat, and spread a generous amount of your chicken salad mixture on one slice. Top with the second slice of bread, and there you have it, a simple yet elegant chicken salad sandwich. It's a dish that's perfect for a leisurely lunch, or as part of a bigger spread for a picnic or gathering. And when you take that first bite, the combination of the creamy filling and the crunch of celery and sweetness from the grapes will take you right back to the simpler days of the 70s. Dish number 2, the tuna casserole sandwich. Imagine taking the comforting, cheesy goodness of a classic tuna casserole and turning it into a handheld meal. That's exactly what the tuna casserole sandwich brought to lunchtime in the 1970s. This inventive dish took the rich, creamy sauce and tender tuna from the beloved casserole and transformed it into something perfect for a quick and satisfying lunch. It's one of those sandwiches that became synonymous with comfort food, warm, hearty, and packed with flavors that made you feel cozy and content with every bite. In the 1970s, casseroles were a big deal. They were the backbone of many family dinners, easy to make, affordable, and satisfying. Families loved casseroles because they could feed a crowd, use pantry staples, and be prepared in one dish. So, when the tuna casserole sandwich came around, it made perfect sense to take this hearty, comforting meal and reinvent it as a portable option for lunchboxes or quick meals at home. With its creamy filling, cheesy goodness, and a bit of crunch from the breadcrumbs, it was the kind of sandwich that could quickly satisfy those hunger pangs without too much fuss. The beauty of the tuna casserole sandwich was its simplicity. It didn't require elaborate ingredients, and yet it managed to deliver a fully satisfying, warm meal. The casserole-inspired filling was rich, creamy, and cheesy, just like the casserole version, but it had the added benefit of being able to be eaten with your hands. While it was hearty and comforting, it also had that playful, messy quality that made it fun to eat. With every bite, that cheesy tuna filling might drip out of the sides, making it a sandwich you had to embrace with abandon as the warm, savory goodness leaked out with every bite. It was the kind of dish that made you feel full and content, cozy on the inside, and happy that you could have something so satisfying in such a portable format. You can make the dish with canned tuna, cream of mushroom soup, shredded cheddar cheese, breadcrumbs, soft sandwich bread, white or whole wheat. Start by draining your canned tuna well, placing it in a mixing bowl. Then add in the can of cream of mushroom soup. This is what gives the filling that velvety, comforting base that makes the sandwich feel like a casserole. Stir in a generous amount of shredded cheddar cheese, which will melt beautifully and bring that creamy, cheesy richness you know and love. Mix everything together until well combined. Take a slice of bread, whether white or whole wheat, and spread a hearty layer of this creamy tuna mixture on top. Add another slice of bread to form your sandwich, then coat the outside of the sandwich with a layer of breadcrumbs. This step mimics the golden, crispy topping of a traditional tuna casserole and adds a delightful crunch. Heat a skillet over medium heat and toast the sandwich on both sides. Press down gently with a spatula to ensure the sandwich becomes golden brown and that the filling inside is warm and melty. Once ready, serve your tuna casserole sandwich with a side of crispy chips or a dill pickle to add some crunch and tang to balance the creamy richness of the sandwich. Each bite will take you straight to comfort food heaven, warm, cheesy, and completely satisfying. Dish number 3, the Sloppy Joe sandwich. The Sloppy Joe sandwich is the epitome of comfort food, hearty, messy, and irresistibly delicious. A true 1970s lunchbox classic, this sandwich quickly became a favorite in school cafeterias, family dinners, and backyard cookouts. With its rich and savory filling, it wasn't just a sandwich, it was an experience. The combination of ground beef, tangy tomato sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and just the right touch of brown sugar created a flavorful, slightly sweet and savory mix that made every bite a satisfying delight. It was the kind of sandwich you had to dive into, embracing the messiness with a grin. For anyone who didn't mind getting a little sauce on their hands, the Sloppy Joe was a treat that offered an unforgettable blend of flavors and textures. What made the Sloppy Joe so irresistible wasn't just the flavor, it was the experience of eating it. The juicy, saucy filling often dripped out from between the buns, making it a sandwich that required a bit of messy indulgence. With each bite, the tangy sweet sauce would spill, and you couldn't help but smile as the sandwich got a little messier. It wasn't a neat sandwich like a classic PB&J or a ham and cheese. No, the Sloppy Joe was a wild card in the world of sandwiches, challenging you to embrace its unrefined, delicious nature. The bold, hearty flavor made it stand out from the more traditional sandwiches of the time, cementing its place as a lunchtime favorite in the 1970s. In a time when convenience was key, the Sloppy Joe filled a perfect niche. It was quick to make, filling, and had just the right balance of flavors to make it a crowd pleaser. Whether you served it to a hungry family at dinner or packed it into a lunchbox for a school day, the Sloppy Joe sandwich was a dependable and satisfying meal that brought people together. And let's not forget the joy of biting into that saucy filling, knowing that this was one sandwich that could be as much fun as it was delicious. You can make the dish with ground beef, onion, chopped, bell pepper, chopped, tomato sauce, Worcestershire sauce, brown sugar, garlic powder, hamburger buns. Start by heating a large skillet over medium heat. Add the ground beef and cook it, breaking it up into small crumbles as it browns.
Now I'll come in here and we season. Right?
Once the beef is fully cooked and browned, add the chopped onion and bell pepper, sautéing until the vegetables are softened and fragrant. Stir in the tomato sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and brown sugar. The sugar will balance the acidity of the tomato sauce and add a hint of sweetness to the mixture, which is key to achieving that signature Sloppy Joe flavor. Season with garlic powder, salt, and pepper to taste. Let the mixture simmer on low heat for about 15 minutes, allowing the sauce to thicken slightly and the flavors to meld together. Once the mixture is ready, scoop a generous portion onto a hamburger bun, ensuring that you get plenty of the saucy filling. Top it with the second bun, and you've got a Sloppy Joe that's rich, flavorful, and perfectly messy. For an extra touch, serve it with a side of crispy fries or a dill pickle to complement the sandwich's bold flavors. Whether you're reminiscing about lunch from your childhood or making it for the first time, the Sloppy Joe remains a classic sandwich that's as fun to eat as it is to make. Dish number 4, the meatball sub. The meatball sub is the kind of sandwich that feels like a warm hug on a cold day. A hearty, satisfying meal that can be enjoyed at any time, whether it's a quick lunch or part of a family dinner. In the 1970s, This sandwich was a favorite of those who craved something filling, flavorful, and just a little bit indulgent. It combined the classic Italian-American flavors of tender meatballs, tangy marinara sauce, and melted mozzarella cheese, all nestled in a soft, crusty sub-roll. This was the kind of sandwich that made you feel full and content after just one bite. And, let's be honest, it was hard to stop at just one. What made the meatball sub such a popular choice in the 70s was how it effortlessly combined two of the era's favorite things, casseroles and convenience food. While casseroles like meatball bakes had long been a family favorite, the meatball sub took that comfort food and gave it a handheld twist. It was the sandwich you'd crave after a long day, the one you'd grab at the local sub shop or whip up quickly at home for an easy dinner. If you were lucky enough to have one wrapped in wax paper, that sandwich was destined to become a memory. You can make the dish with ground beef, breadcrumbs, egg, garlic powder, onion powder, marinara sauce, mozzarella cheese shredded, sub rolls. Start by making the meatballs. In a large bowl, combine ground beef, breadcrumbs, and a beaten egg to hold everything together. Season with garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper, mixing everything until well combined. Roll the mixture into small meatballs, about the size of a golf ball, and place them on a baking sheet. Bake the meatballs in a preheated oven at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes, or until they're golden brown and fully cooked through. While the meatballs are baking, heat your marinara sauce in a saucepan over low heat. Woo! Once the meatballs are done, add them to the sauce, letting them simmer in the sauce for another 10 to 15 minutes, allowing the flavors to meld. Next, slice your sub rolls and toast them lightly in the oven or on a griddle. Once toasted, load up the rolls with meatballs and sauce. Sprinkle a generous amount of shredded mozzarella cheese over the top and place the subs under the broiler for a few minutes until the cheese is melted and bubbly. Serve your meatball sub hot and be prepared for a mess. This sandwich is meant to be devoured with gusto. Whether you serve it with a side of crispy fries or a simple salad, it's the perfect way to enjoy the comfort and nostalgia of the 1970s. Dish number 5. The egg salad sandwich. The egg salad sandwich is one of those classic lunchbox staples that embodies simplicity and comfort, and it was a true standout in the 1970s. Made with just a few ingredients, eggs, mayo, and a few seasonings, this sandwich was perfect for those days when you needed something quick, easy, and satisfying. What made it stand out, though, was the texture. The creaminess of the mayo perfectly complemented the soft, rich yolks, while the crunch of diced celery or onion added a nice contrast. The egg salad sandwich wasn't just a lunch. It was a delicious, filling experience wrapped in 2 slices of soft bread. In the 1970s, this sandwich was often seen as a quintessential lunch for both kids and adults. It was easy to make in advance, it stored well, and it offered a delightful break from heavier fare like meatloaf or sandwiches stacked with deli meats. As a result, it became a go-to for family picnics, work lunches, and school days. Plus, it was customizable. Some people liked it with a bit of relish, others with mustard, and a few even added curry powder for a touch of spice. No matter how you made it, the egg salad sandwich was always a crowd pleaser. You can make the dish with hard-boiled eggs, mayonnaise, mustard, relish, salt, pepper, sandwich bread, white or whole wheat. Start by hard-boiling your eggs. Place the eggs in a pot of cold water, bring to a boil, and then simmer for about 10 minutes. Once they're done, cool them under cold running water, then peel and chop them into small pieces. In a medium-sized bowl, combine the chopped eggs with mayonnaise and a dollop of mustard for a bit of tang. If you like a sweet contrast, stir in some relish. Season generously with salt and pepper to taste, and if you're feeling adventurous, add a pinch of curry powder or a few dashes of hot sauce for a kick. Mix everything together until the egg salad is smooth and creamy. Take 2 slices of soft bread, white or whole wheat, and spread the egg salad mixture generously on one slice. Top with the other slice and press gently to secure the sandwich. Cut it into halves or quarters and enjoy the creamy, comforting flavors of the 1970s. This sandwich is best enjoyed fresh, but it also keeps well in the fridge for a day or two, making it a great option for meal prep. Whether packed in a lunchbox or served at a family gathering, the egg salad sandwich will always bring a taste of nostalgia with every bite. Dish number 6. The club sandwich. The club sandwich is the epitome of a 1970s fancy lunch. Layered with turkey, crispy bacon, lettuce, tomato, and mayo, this towering triple-decker was the go-to sandwich for those looking to enjoy a bit of indulgence without stepping into a restaurant. It was often seen as a lunchtime luxury, a sandwich so stacked that you needed toothpicks just to hold it all together. Its popularity soared throughout the 1970s, and it became the sandwich of choice for business lunches, picnics, or a weekend treat at home. The club sandwich was also a favorite at diners and hotels, making it a mainstay in American lunchtime culture. What made it so special was the combination of textures and flavors. You had the crunch of the toasted bread, the saltiness of the bacon, the freshness of the lettuce and tomato, and the rich, savory turkey. All of this came together with a bit of creamy mayonnaise to create a sandwich that was both satisfying and indulgent, perfect for any time of day. You can make the dish with sliced turkey breast, bacon, crispy, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, white or whole wheat bread. Start by toasting 3 slices of bread until they're golden brown. While the bread is toasting, cook your bacon until it's nice and crispy. Drain the bacon on a paper towel to remove excess grease. Once your bread is toasted, spread a generous amount of mayonnaise on the first slice. Layer on the turkey slices, followed by crispy bacon, fresh lettuce, and a few slices of ripe tomato. Place the second slice of toasted bread on top and repeat the layering process. Turkey, bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Spread more mayonnaise on the third slice of bread and top the sandwich to finish it off. Using a sharp knife, cut the sandwich into quarters, securing each with a toothpick to keep it from falling apart. Serve your club sandwich with a side of chips or a pickle spear for that extra touch of crunch. This sandwich is as indulgent as it is delicious. Perfect for when you want to treat yourself to something truly satisfying. The club sandwich is a dish that never goes out of style, even if it's not as commonly seen today. Whether you're recreating it at home or ordering it at a retro diner, this sandwich is a true taste of the 1970s. Dish number 7, the pimento cheese sandwich. The pimento cheese sandwich is one of those nostalgic bites that instantly transports you to simpler times. Popularized in the 1970s, it has its roots in Southern cooking, where it's still a cherished staple today. But in the 70s, it was much more than just a Southern delicacy. It was a beloved comfort food across the country. The smooth, creamy spread, made from sharp cheddar cheese, mayonnaise, and sweet pimentos, would be slathered generously between slices of soft white bread, creating a sandwich that was rich, flavorful, and downright addictive. What made this sandwich stand out was its simplicity. You didn't need fancy ingredients or hours of prep. Instead, it was all about balancing the sharpness of cheddar with the sweetness of pimentos and the creaminess of mayonnaise. You could add a touch of spice with a little hot sauce or even a hint of garlic, but the beauty of the pimento cheese sandwich was in its straightforwardness. This sandwich wasn't just for picnics or lunchboxes. It made appearances at family gatherings, church socials, and even upscale Southern tea parties. Whether served on soft white bread or toasted to a perfect crunch, the pimento cheese sandwich was always a crowd pleaser. You can make the dish with sharp cheddar cheese, shredded, mayonnaise, pimentos, drained and chopped, salt, pepper, white or wheat sandwich bread. Start by shredding a generous amount of sharp cheddar cheese. About 2 cups will do. In a large bowl, combine the shredded cheese with a cup of mayonnaise. Stir in a small jar of pimentos, making sure they're well drained before chopping them into small pieces. Add salt and pepper to taste and mix everything until it's smooth and creamy. Take 2 slices of soft sandwich bread and spread a thick layer of your pimento cheese mixture on one slice. Top it with the other slice of bread, press down gently to secure, and cut the sandwich into halves or quarters, depending on your preference. For an extra touch, toast the bread before assembling, giving the sandwich a crispy crunch that contrasts beautifully with the creamy filling. This sandwich is best enjoyed fresh, but it keeps well in the fridge for a couple of days, making it ideal for meal prep or picnics. Whether you're serving it at a casual get-together or enjoying it as a midday snack, the pimento cheese sandwich offers that perfect combination of sharp, creamy, and sweet in every bite. It's a taste of the past, and once you've had it, you might just wonder why it ever faded from popularity. Dish number 8, the bologna and cheese sandwich. If there's one sandwich from the 1970s that brings a sense of nostalgia to the table, it's the bologna and cheese sandwich. Often regarded as a simple working-class lunch, this sandwich was a go-to for anyone who needed something quick, filling, and affordable. Bologna, with its distinctive pink hue and slightly smoky flavor, paired perfectly with a slice of processed cheese to create a comforting, satisfying meal that made you feel full without breaking the bank. During the 1970s, the bologna and cheese sandwich was a classic lunchbox favorite for kids and adults alike. The flavors were simple, but that didn't mean they were any less satisfying. The creamy, slightly salty processed cheese melted just enough to complement the rich, savory bologna. And of course, it all came together between two slices of soft bread, which could be white, wheat, or whatever was in the pantry at the time. For many, this sandwich became a nostalgic lunchtime tradition that felt just as satisfying as any gourmet creation. Whether served cold on a hot summer day or grilled for a warm, crispy exterior, the bologna and cheese sandwich was the kind of dish that didn't need any frills to be a favorite. It was hearty, comforting, and reliable, a sandwich that never disappointed. You can make the dish with bologna slices, processed cheese slices, white or wheat sandwich bread, mustard or mayonnaise, optional. Start by laying out 2 slices of bread, white or wheat, it's your choice. Place a slice of processed cheese on one of the bread slices, and then layer on 2 to 3 slices of bologna. If you like a little extra flavor, spread mustard or mayonnaise on the inside of the bread before assembling the sandwich. For those who enjoy a warm, crispy version, you can grill the sandwich. Heat a pan over medium heat and butter the outside of the bread. Place the sandwich in the pan and grill for a couple of minutes on each side until the bread is golden and crispy and the cheese is melted. For an extra touch, you can add pickles or a few slices of tomato to enhance the sandwich's flavor. The bologna and cheese sandwich is the kind of simple, no-fuss meal that's perfect for any occasion, whether you're eating it for lunch, a quick snack, or even a midnight craving. Dish number 9, the French dip sandwich. The French dip sandwich is a sandwich that truly delivers on flavor. While it wasn't quite as ubiquitous in the 1970s as some other sandwiches, it was still a popular option for anyone craving a hearty, meaty meal. The sandwich is known for its warm, tender roast beef, served on a fresh hoagie roll, and accompanied by a rich, savory au jus for dipping. The 1970s saw a rise in casual dining and deli-style sandwiches, and the French dip fit perfectly into that scene, offering something both comforting and indulgent. What made the French dip such a standout was the au jus, just the right balance of beef broth, garlic, and seasonings to elevate the sandwich to new heights. Every bite was a perfect mix of tender beef and savory broth, making it the ultimate sandwich for anyone who loved a little extra indulgence in their lunch. It was perfect for cold days when you wanted something warm and satisfying, but it could also be enjoyed during any season, thanks to its flavorful combination of ingredients. The French dip may have originated in Los Angeles in the early 20th century, but by the 1970s, it had become a lunchtime favorite across the country. It's the kind of sandwich that you can't help but savor, dipping each bite into the au jus for that extra burst of flavor. You can make the dish with thinly sliced roast beef, hoagie rolls, beef broth, garlic powder, onion powder, Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper. Begin by preparing your beef broth. In a saucepan, combine beef broth with a splash of Worcestershire sauce, a pinch of garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. Bring to a simmer and let it cook for 10 to 15 minutes, allowing the flavors to meld together. While the broth is simmering, slice your hoagie rolls lengthwise and layer them with thinly sliced roast beef. If you want to warm the beef, you can briefly heat it in a pan with a little bit of the broth to get it nice and hot. Once the beef is ready, assemble your sandwich and serve it with a small cup of the au jus for dipping. To enjoy, take a bite of your French dip sandwich and then dip it into the au jus for that perfect flavor combination. Whether you're enjoying it at home or at a deli, the French dip sandwich is a timeless classic that remains just as satisfying today as it was back in the 1970s. Dish number 10, the Reuben sandwich. The Reuben sandwich is one of those classic deli staples that has stood the test of time, and its popularity in the 1970s was a reflection of the growing love for bold, flavor-packed sandwiches. It's a sandwich that brings together a combination of tangy, savory, and creamy, corned beef, sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, and Thousand Island dressing, stacked between slices of crispy rye bread. The marriage of these ingredients creates a perfect balance of flavors that, when grilled to golden perfection, makes for an unforgettable bite. In the 1970s, the Reuben was often seen in diners and delis, offering a filling and satisfying meal that could be enjoyed any time of day. The Reuben's rich, hearty filling made it a lunchtime favorite, but its tangy notes from the sauerkraut and creamy dressing made it just as perfect for a late-night snack or a casual dinner. This was a sandwich that wasn't afraid to be bold and unique. Its distinctive ingredients, including the tangy sauerkraut and the richness of Swiss cheese, made it stand out from the more conventional options of the time. You can make the dish with corned beef, Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, drained, Thousand Island dressing, rye bread, preferably marbled rye. Start by laying out 2 slices of rye bread. Spread a generous amount of Thousand Island dressing on one side of each slice. On one slice, layer a few slices of corned beef, then add a generous helping of sauerkraut. Top with a slice or 2 of Swiss cheese, depending on how cheesy you like it. Once the sandwich is assembled, place the second slice of bread on top, dressing side down. Heat a skillet or griddle over medium heat and butter the outside of both slices of bread. Grill the sandwich for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, pressing down gently with a spatula until the bread is golden brown and the cheese has melted. Cut the sandwich in half diagonally, allowing the gooey cheese and sauerkraut to peek out. Serve your Reuben with a side of pickles or potato chips for that perfect contrast of tangy, crunchy, and savory. Whether you're enjoying it as a midday treat or as a hearty dinner, the Reuben sandwich is a timeless classic that never fails to impress. Dish number 11, the chicken parmesan sandwich. The chicken parmesan sandwich is a delightful fusion of 2 beloved dishes, the crispy breaded chicken cutlet and the comforting flavors of Italian-American chicken parmesan. While the original chicken parmesan was a staple of Italian-American restaurants, the 1970s saw the rise of the chicken parmesan sandwich, a portable version of the classic, perfect for a lunch break or a casual dinner. Breaded and fried chicken cutlets were topped with marinara sauce and gooey melted mozzarella, all nestled between slices of a soft sub roll. It was Italian comfort food at its finest, served up in sandwich form. This sandwich quickly became a favorite in the 1970s, as it combined the satisfying crunch of the fried chicken with the rich, savory sauce and cheese that made chicken parmesan such a beloved dish. It was the kind of sandwich that felt like an indulgence, yet it was easy enough to make for a quick lunch or dinner. Whether served on a simple white roll or toasted for extra crunch, the chicken parmesan sandwich is a hearty meal that anyone can enjoy. You can make the dish with chicken breasts, breadcrumbs, egg, marinara sauce, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, sub rolls, olive oil for frying. Start by preparing your chicken breasts. If they're thick, slice them in half horizontally to create thinner cutlets. In a shallow bowl, whisk together 1 egg and a tablespoon of water. In another shallow bowl, combine breadcrumbs and grated Parmesan cheese for a simple breading mixture. Dip the chicken cutlets in the egg wash, then coat them in the breadcrumb mixture, pressing gently to ensure the breadcrumbs stick. Heat olive oil in a skillet over medium-high heat. Fry the breaded chicken cutlets for about 3 to 4 minutes per side, or until they're golden brown and cooked through. Remove the cutlets from the skillet and drain them on a paper towel. Next, prepare your sub rolls by slicing them open, but not all the way through. Place the fried chicken cutlet in each roll, then spoon marinara sauce over the chicken. Top with slices of mozzarella cheese, and place the sandwich under a broiler for 1-2 minutes, or until the cheese is melted and bubbly. Serve your chicken parmesan sandwich with a side of crispy fries or a simple salad. The sandwich combines everything you love about chicken parmesan in an easy-to-eat handheld format that's perfect for any meal. Dish number 12, the grilled cheese and tomato soup sandwich. Few combinations are as comforting and nostalgic as the grilled cheese and tomato soup sandwich. This classic pairing has been a staple of American kitchens for decades, but in the 1970s, it truly shined as a beloved comfort food. The warm, gooey grilled cheese sandwich, with its crispy, buttery bread and melted cheese, was the perfect companion to the rich, tangy tomato soup. Together, they formed the kind of meal that made you feel cozy, satisfied, and just a little bit nostalgic for the simplicity of childhood. The beauty of this dish is in its simplicity. The grilled cheese sandwich itself is a timeless favorite, crispy on the outside, creamy and cheesy on the inside. And when paired with a steaming bowl of tomato soup, the result is the ultimate comfort meal that's perfect for chilly afternoons or anytime you need a little pick-me-up. In the 1970s, this meal was often served as a quick, hearty lunch for both kids and adults alike. It was a meal that brought people together, whether it was a family lunch, a solo snack, or a cozy dinner. You can make the dish with bread, white, whole wheat, or sourdough, cheddar cheese, or your favorite cheese, butter, tomato soup, canned or homemade. Start by heating a can of tomato soup in a saucepan over medium heat. Stir occasionally and let it simmer while you make the sandwiches. If you prefer homemade tomato soup, simply combine canned tomatoes, onion, garlic, and a bit of broth, then blend it smooth and season to taste. For the grilled cheese, spread butter generously on one side of each slice of bread. Place the slices, butter side down, in a skillet over medium heat. Layer slices of cheddar cheese between the bread, then cook the sandwich for about 2-3 minutes on each side, pressing gently with a spatula until the bread is golden and the cheese has melted. Once the grilled cheese sandwich is ready, serve it alongside the hot tomato soup. For extra indulgence, you can cut the sandwich into triangles and dip it into the soup. This classic combination is as comforting as it gets. Whether you're reliving childhood memories or creating new ones, the grilled cheese and tomato soup sandwich is a dish that never goes out of style. Dish number 13, the lobster roll. The lobster roll is a quintessential summer sandwich that became widely popular in the 1970s, particularly in the northeastern US, where fresh lobster was abundant and often served in the most luxurious yet simple way imaginable. This sandwich was the ultimate indulgence. Sweet, tender lobster meat, lightly dressed in mayonnaise or butter, and served in a soft, toasted roll. It was as much a celebration of fresh seafood as it was a delicious meal. The 1970s saw the lobster roll becoming a more accessible treat, moving beyond fine dining restaurants and lobster shacks to grocery stores and coastal cafes. The dish evokes images of breezy days by the beach, the salty ocean air, and the promise of a fresh, satisfying bite. While it originally started as a New England favorite, by the end of the 70s, it had spread across the country, especially in coastal regions where seafood reigned supreme. What sets the lobster roll apart from other sandwiches is the way it lets the lobster shine. The key is to keep things simple, letting the flavor of the lobster take center stage without overloading it with heavy ingredients. Whether you opt for a classic mayo-based dressing or a butter-laden version, the result is a luxurious, yet easy-to-make sandwich that feels special every time you enjoy it. You can make the dish with lobster meat, fresh or thawed from frozen, mayonnaise or melted butter, lemon juice, celery, finely chopped, salt, pepper, New England-style split-top rolls. Start by preparing the lobster. If you're using fresh lobster, cook it by boiling the lobster tails or whole lobsters in salted water until the shells turn bright red and the meat is opaque, about 7 to 8 minutes for tails. Let the lobster cool, then carefully remove the meat from the shells and chop it into bite-sized pieces. If you're using frozen lobster, simply thaw it and chop it. Next, mix the lobster meat with mayonnaise or melted butter, depending on your preference. For a touch of crunch and flavor, add finely chopped celery and a squeeze of lemon juice to brighten up the mixture. Season with salt and pepper to taste. Split your New England-style rolls and toast them lightly in a pan or under the broiler until golden brown. Generously spoon the lobster mixture into each roll, being sure to fill it well. Serve immediately with a side of chips or a pickle for that classic beachside meal experience. Whether you're enjoying this on a warm summer day by the water or simply craving something a little luxurious, the lobster roll is a timeless sandwich that will transport you to the coast with every bite. Dish number 14, the Philly cheesesteak. The Philly cheesesteak is as iconic as they come when it comes to sandwiches. Born in Philadelphia in the early 20th century, the cheesesteak became an all-American favorite by the 1970s, when it was embraced across the country as the epitome of comfort food. The sandwich is straightforward, yet undeniably flavorful. Thinly sliced beef, sautéed onions, and melted cheese, all tucked inside a soft, chewy hoagie roll. It was the go-to meal for anyone craving something hearty, filling, and full of bold flavors. In the 1970s, the Philly cheesesteak began to gain widespread popularity outside of Philadelphia, often found in delis and fast food joints across the country. The beauty of the cheesesteak lies in its simplicity. There's nothing complicated about it, but when executed properly, it's a perfect balance of savory, creamy, and crispy textures. The sandwich became synonymous with comfort, especially after a long day, whether at home, at the office, or in the city. While purists will argue that the sandwich should always be made with Cheese Whiz or provolone, by the 70s, people started experimenting with different types of cheese. Whether you prefer it with gooey American cheese or the classic provolone, the Philly cheesesteak delivers that indulgent combination of flavors in every bite. You can make the dish with ribeye steak or other tender cuts of beef, onions, sautéed, hoagie rolls, American cheese, or provolone or Cheese Whiz, salt, pepper, olive oil. Start by slicing your ribeye steak thinly against the grain. Heat a bit of olive oil in a skillet over medium-high heat and sauté the onions until they're soft and golden brown, about 5 to 7 minutes. Set the onions aside, and then add the thinly sliced steak to the skillet, cooking until the beef is browned and cooked through, about 3 to 4 minutes. Once the beef is cooked, season with salt and pepper to taste, and return the sautéed onions to the skillet, mixing them in with the beef. While the beef and onions are cooking, split your hoagie rolls and toast them lightly. Place a few slices of cheese on top of the beef mixture in the skillet, allowing it to melt over the meat. Once the cheese has melted, spoon the mixture into the toasted hoagie rolls. Serve your Philly cheesesteak with extra cheese or condiments if desired. Some folks even love to add hot peppers or mushrooms for extra flavor. With each bite, you'll savor the rich, savory combination of beef, cheese, and onions, all tucked into that perfect roll. Whether you're enjoying it at a local Philly diner or recreating it at home, the Philly cheesesteak remains one of the ultimate sandwiches of the 1970s. Dish number 15, the Monte Cristo sandwich. The Monte Cristo sandwich is a dish that combines the best of both worlds, a savory ham and cheese sandwich encased in a crispy, golden batter and deep fried to perfection. Think of it as the more decadent cousin of the classic grilled cheese, brought to life in the 1970s as a playful take on the French croque monsieur. The Monte Cristo's rise to fame came thanks to its appearance on diner menus and in family kitchens, where it was embraced as a comforting, indulgent treat that could easily be prepared at home or served in a more upscale dining setting. What made the Monte Cristo so beloved in the 1970s was its perfect combination of flavors and textures: the melt-in-your-mouth cheese, the salty ham, and the delicate, crispy batter made for a sandwich that was both hearty and delicious, with each bite delivering a satisfying crunch, followed by gooey cheese and savory meat. While it may have appeared on restaurant menus as an elevated dish, it became just as popular in home kitchens as a special weekend treat or an indulgent lunch. Traditionally served with powdered sugar and a side of jelly or preserves, the Monte Cristo was as much about the experience as it was about the taste. The contrast of savory and sweet flavors made the sandwich a standout favorite, and by the 1970s, it was known across the country as the ultimate comfort food with a gourmet twist. You can make the dish with white bread, preferably thick slices, ham, Swiss cheese or American cheese, eggs, milk, flour, butter, powdered sugar, optional, jam or jelly, such as raspberry or strawberry. Start by layering slices of Swiss cheese and ham between 2 slices of white bread. Press the sandwich together gently. In a shallow bowl, whisk together 2 eggs, a splash of milk, and a pinch of salt to create a batter. Pour some flour onto a plate for dredging. Heat a bit of butter in a skillet or on a griddle over medium heat. Dip the assembled sandwich into the egg batter, making sure both sides are well coated, then dredge it lightly in flour. Carefully place the battered sandwich into the skillet and cook for 3 to 4 minutes per side until golden brown and crispy. Once cooked, remove from the skillet and let it cool slightly. For a sweet touch, dust the sandwich with powdered sugar and serve it with a side of jam or jelly for dipping. The contrast between the crispy, savory sandwich and the sweet jam creates the perfect balance of flavors. Enjoy your Monte Cristo for a nostalgic taste of indulgence, whether for brunch, lunch, or a special treat. Dish number 16, the pulled pork sandwich. The pulled pork sandwich is the epitome of down-home Southern cooking and was a favorite throughout the 1970s, especially in the South, where slow-cooked pork was a staple. This sandwich combines tender, slow-cooked pork with a tangy barbecue sauce nestled between soft, fresh buns. The beauty of this sandwich lies in its simplicity and its ability to bring people together for a hearty, satisfying meal. Whether it was served at a summer cookout, a family gathering, or a casual lunch, the pulled pork sandwich became a go-to comfort food for the 1970s and beyond. The slow-cooked, fall-apart tender pork shoulder, mixed with a rich and tangy barbecue sauce, created a flavor-packed bite with every chew. As the pork cooked low and slow, it absorbed the smoky flavors of the grill or oven, making the resulting sandwich a juicy, flavorful treat. Over time, the pulled pork sandwich gained national popularity, transcending regional borders and becoming a beloved classic across the United States. What really made the pulled pork sandwich shine was its versatility. You could top it with coleslaw for an added crunch, or serve it with pickles to enhance the tangy flavor. Some enjoyed it with a side of crispy fries, while others preferred to savor the sandwich all on its own. Regardless of how it was served, it was the flavor-packed combination of tender pork and savory sauce that made the sandwich an unforgettable meal. You can make the dish with pork shoulder, barbecue sauce, your choice of sweet, tangy, or smoky, Sandwich buns, coleslaw, optional. Pickles, optional. Start by seasoning your pork shoulder with salt, pepper, and any additional spices you prefer, such as paprika or garlic powder. Place the pork shoulder in a slow cooker or in the oven and cook it low and slow at about 250 degrees Celsius for 6 to 8 hours, or until the meat is tender and can be easily shredded with a fork. If you're using the oven, wrap the pork in foil to keep the moisture in. Once the pork is ready, remove it from the cooker or oven and use 2 forks to shred the meat. Discard any fatty pieces and return the shredded pork to the pot, mixing it with your favorite barbecue sauce. Let it simmer for an additional 15 minutes, allowing the flavors to meld together. While the pork is simmering, lightly toast your sandwich buns. Once toasted, pile the pulled pork onto the buns and top with coleslaw or pickles, if desired. Serve hot and enjoy the smoky, tangy goodness of this Southern classic. Dish number 17, the avocado toast sandwich. Though the avocado toast has seen a resurgence in recent years as a trendy breakfast or brunch item, its roots actually trace back to the 1970s. While the avocado craze truly hit its peak in the 90s and 2000s, the 1970s was the decade when this creamy, healthy fruit first started making its way onto the American plate in a more mainstream way. The avocado toast sandwich was a simple, refreshing way to enjoy the nutritious fruit, topped on soft bread, and often accompanied by a bit of salt, pepper, or lemon juice. It was an elegant yet easy-to-make dish that offered a light, fulfilling meal for lunch or brunch. In a time when processed foods were taking over many kitchens, the avocado toast sandwich provided a contrast, a healthy, wholesome meal that didn't rely on artificial ingredients or preservatives. The avocado's rich, buttery texture paired perfectly with toasted bread, making for a satisfying bite. It was a food that celebrated the freshness of simple, natural ingredients, offering a moment of pause in an otherwise busy world. While avocado toast as we know it today is often adorned with additional toppings like feta, tomatoes, or poached eggs, the 70s version kept it straightforward, focusing on the purity of the avocado itself. This sandwich was more than just a quick lunch. It was a way to embrace the health-conscious movement of the time. You can make the dish with ripe avocado, sandwich bread, white or whole wheat, lemon juice, salt, pepper, optional toppings like sprouts or tomato. Start by toasting your sandwich bread until it's golden brown. While the bread is toasting, slice your ripe avocado in half and remove the pit. Scoop the flesh into a small bowl and mash it with a fork until smooth, leaving some chunks for texture. Add a squeeze of fresh lemon juice to the mashed avocado, along with salt and pepper to taste. Once your bread is toasted, spread the mashed avocado evenly on one slice of the bread. Top with the second slice to form a sandwich. For an extra touch of flavor, you can add toppings like fresh tomato slices, cucumber, or sprouts. Serve your avocado toast. Sandwich immediately for a light and nutritious meal that will leave you feeling full and satisfied. It's a sandwich that blends simplicity with flavor, making it a timeless option for anyone who appreciates healthy eating. Dish number 18, the eggplant parmesan sandwich. The eggplant parmesan sandwich is a classic vegetarian option that made its way into the hearts of many during the 1970s, a decade that saw an increasing interest in plant-based meals. The sandwich takes all the savory goodness of the traditional Italian dish, eggplant parmesan, and puts it into a more portable form. Crispy breaded eggplant slices are layered with marinara sauce and melted mozzarella cheese, all sandwiched between 2 slices of soft, toasted bread. It's a sandwich that offers a delicious balance of textures, crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, with a satisfying bite from the cheese and sauce. During the 1970s, when Italian-American cuisine was becoming even more popular, dishes like eggplant parmesan were embraced by both vegetarians and meat eaters alike. The eggplant parmesan sandwich was a hearty yet lighter alternative to meat-filled sandwiches, offering a rich and flavorful meal without the heaviness. Its popularity grew in part because it provided a hearty, satisfying option for those who weren't interested in eating meat but still wanted a filling, indulgent sandwich. This sandwich was often served in delis and casual eateries, where it became a favorite for lunch or dinner. Its comforting, cheesy filling and crispy breaded eggplant made it a hit with anyone looking for a satisfying, vegetarian-friendly meal. You can make the dish with eggplant, breadcrumbs, egg, mozzarella cheese, shredded, marinara sauce, sandwich bread, soft white or Italian, olive oil for frying. Start by slicing the eggplant into 1/4 inch thick rounds. Dip each slice into a beaten egg, then coat it with breadcrumbs. Heat olive oil in a large skillet over medium heat and fry the breaded eggplant slices until they are golden and crispy on both sides, about 3 to 4 minutes per side. Remove the eggplant from the skillet and place it on a paper towel to drain excess oil. Next, slice your sandwich bread and toast it lightly. On one slice of bread, spread a little marinara sauce and then layer on the fried eggplant slices. Top with a generous amount of shredded mozzarella cheese and more marinara sauce. If you want to melt the cheese, place the sandwich under a broiler for a minute or two until the cheese is bubbly and golden. Top with the second slice of toasted bread and serve hot. The eggplant parmesan sandwich is a satisfying vegetarian alternative to traditional sandwiches, offering all the flavors of the classic Italian dish in a convenient, portable form. It's the kind of sandwich that will fill you up with warmth and flavor, whether you're enjoying it at lunch or for a cozy dinner. Dish number 19, the BLT sandwich. The BLT sandwich is one of those timeless classics that never goes out of style. Simple yet perfect, it has been a staple of American lunchtime culture since the early 1900s, but its heyday in the 1970s saw it become a quintessential sandwich for every season. It's the sandwich that strikes the perfect balance between crisp bacon, juicy tomatoes, and fresh lettuce, all between 2 slices of toasted bread, usually slathered with mayonnaise. The BLT is the kind of sandwich that celebrates fresh, quality ingredients, and in the 1970s, it was a favorite for its simplicity and versatility. The popularity of the BLT in the 1970s reflected the growing trend toward fresh, quality ingredients. The sandwich allowed for these elements to shine, especially when the bacon was crisped just right, the tomatoes were in season, and the lettuce added that refreshing crunch. It wasn't complicated, just 3 key ingredients, each with its own distinct flavor and texture. While there are many variations, the core of the BLT has always remained the same, making it one of the easiest yet most satisfying sandwiches to prepare. One of the great things about the BLT is its adaptability. While it remains a favorite for lunch, it's also perfect for a casual dinner or a weekend brunch. You can enjoy it with a side of chips, a pickle, or even a simple salad, making it the kind of sandwich that can be dressed up or kept casual depending on the occasion. You can make the dish with bacon, crispy, lettuce, such as iceberg or romaine, ripe tomatoes, mayonnaise, sandwich bread, white, whole wheat, or sourdough. Start by cooking your bacon in a skillet over medium heat until it's crispy and golden. Once cooked, transfer it to a paper towel-lined plate to drain any excess grease. While the bacon is cooking, toast your bread until it's golden brown. If you prefer, you can lightly butter the bread before toasting for a little extra flavor. Once the bread is toasted, spread a generous amount of mayonnaise on one side of each slice. Layer the crispy bacon on one slice of bread, followed by fresh, sliced tomatoes and crisp lettuce. Top with the second slice of bread, mayonnaise side down, and gently press down to hold everything together. Serve immediately and enjoy the crispy, fresh, and savory flavors of the BLT. For added flair, serve with a pickle on the side or a handful of crunchy chips for that perfect balance of texture and flavor. Dish number 20, the tuna salad sandwich. The tuna salad sandwich is another classic that defined many a lunch in the 1970s. Quick, easy, and full of flavor, it became a go-to for busy families, college students, and anyone looking for a no-fuss, satisfying sandwich. Made with canned tuna, creamy mayo, and a few simple seasonings, the tuna salad was often piled high on soft bread, making it the perfect combination of creamy, savory, and slightly crunchy. Whether enjoyed for lunch, dinner, or as a picnic favorite, the tuna salad sandwich was a staple in the 1970s lunchbox. And for good reason. Tuna, an inexpensive and long-lasting pantry staple, was embraced during the 1970s for its versatility. The tuna salad sandwich could be as simple or as complex as you wanted. Sometimes it was just tuna, mayo, and a little salt and pepper. Other times, it might have a bit of diced celery, pickles, or onions to add some crunch. You could even swap out mayonnaise for mustard or Greek yogurt for a lighter version. This flexibility made it a go-to sandwich for all kinds of taste preferences. While it's still enjoyed today, the tuna salad sandwich during the 1970s stood out because it reflected the era's love for practical, affordable meals that didn't sacrifice flavor or satisfaction. It was the sandwich you could prepare quickly and eat in between errands or tasks. And with the tuna's rich, slightly briny flavor paired with creamy mayo, it always hit the spot. You can make the dish with canned tuna, drained, mayonnaise, celery, chopped, onion, optional, pickles, optional, salt, pepper, sandwich bread, white, whole wheat, or rye. Start by draining your canned tuna and placing it in a medium-sized bowl. Use a fork to break it apart into smaller pieces. Add a generous amount of mayonnaise to the tuna, depending on how creamy you like your salad. If you want extra crunch, stir in finely chopped celery, onion, and pickles for added texture and flavor. Season with salt and pepper to taste, and mix everything together until well combined. Spread the tuna salad generously on one slice of your chosen sandwich bread. Top with a second slice of bread and gently press it together. For an extra touch of flavor, you can lightly toast the bread before assembling the sandwich, giving it a crispy crunch that complements the creamy filling. The tuna salad sandwich is as comforting as it is delicious, offering a satisfying lunch that's quick to make and always hit the spot. It's perfect for a picnic, an office lunch, or just a casual meal at home. Dish number 21, the fried chicken sandwich. The fried chicken sandwich was a true icon of the 1970s, a sandwich that combined the indulgence of crispy golden fried chicken with the simplicity of a soft, fluffy bun. This sandwich was a meal that could satisfy just about anyone, from the casual diner to the fried food lover, and it quickly became a popular choice at lunch counters, fast food joints, and family tables across America. Whether served with lettuce, pickles, or a slathering of mayonnaise, the fried chicken sandwich was a satisfying, delicious treat that could hold its own against any other lunch option. What made the fried chicken sandwich so special in the 1970s was the crispy fried chicken. The golden, crunchy exterior gave way to tender, juicy chicken on the inside, making each bite a delightful combination of textures. Served on a soft bun, the sandwich became a perfect handheld meal that was both satisfying and comforting. In the 1970s, fried chicken was already a beloved dish, but placing it in a sandwich took it to a new level, turning it into a meal that could be eaten on the go. The beauty of this sandwich was that it could be customized with toppings, sauces, and condiments, depending on what you preferred. Some liked it with a simple dollop of mayo, while others preferred it with crunchy pickles or spicy hot sauce. Regardless of the extras, it was the fried chicken that stole the show every time. You can make the dish with chicken breasts, boneless, skinless, flour, eggs, breadcrumbs, or cornmeal, salt, pepper, paprika, sandwich buns, mayonnaise, pickles, but optional. Start by preparing your chicken breasts. If they're thick, cut them in half horizontally to create thinner cutlets. In a shallow bowl, whisk together eggs, a pinch of salt, pepper, and paprika. In another shallow bowl, combine flour and breadcrumbs or cornmeal, seasoning with salt and pepper. Dredge each piece of chicken in the egg wash, then coat it in the flour mixture, pressing gently to ensure the coating sticks. Heat vegetable oil in a large skillet over medium-high heat and carefully fry the chicken pieces until golden brown and crispy, about 4 to 5 minutes per side, depending on the thickness. Once cooked, remove the chicken from the skillet and drain it on paper towels. Toast your sandwich buns lightly and spread a bit of mayonnaise on the bottom bun. Place the crispy fried chicken on top and add pickles or any other toppings you like. Top with the second bun and serve immediately. The fried chicken sandwich is a perfect balance of crispy, juicy, and tender, making it a timeless favorite in the world of sandwiches. Whether you're enjoying it as a quick lunch or making it a centerpiece of a gathering, this classic 1970s sandwich will never go out of style. Dish number 22, the roast beef sandwich. The roast beef sandwich is the kind of meal that makes you feel like you're sitting down to something special, even if it's just a quick lunch. The simplicity of tender, thinly sliced roast beef piled high between slices of soft bread made it an iconic sandwich of the 1970s. Often served with a smear of creamy horseradish or a dollop of mustard, the roast beef sandwich was both satisfying and versatile. It could be dressed up with toppings like lettuce, tomatoes, or cheese, or it could be kept simple to let the flavor of the roast beef shine through. In the 1970s, the roast beef sandwich became a deli favorite, popular not just for its flavor, but for its affordability and ease of preparation. The hearty, meaty filling made it a perfect choice for those looking for a filling lunch that didn't require a lot of fuss. Whether enjoyed as a cold sandwich or served warm with melted cheese, the roast beef sandwich provided a comforting, savory option that worked for any time of day. The roast beef itself, often slow-cooked to perfection, was the star of the show. Its rich, savory taste was complemented by the bread and whatever condiments you chose to add. Whether it was a classic horseradish and mayo combination or a tangy mustard, each bite was packed with flavor and satisfaction. You can make the dish with roast beef, thinly sliced, sandwich bread, rye, whole wheat or white, horseradish sauce or mustard, mayonnaise optional, lettuce optional, tomato slices optional. Start by selecting a fresh loaf of bread, whether you prefer rye, whole wheat, or white. If you want a warm sandwich, lightly toast the bread. For a cold version, keep the bread soft and fresh. If you're using horseradish sauce, spread a thin layer on one slice of bread. For a tangier option, use mustard or mayonnaise. Layer thin slices of roast beef generously on the bread. If you like, add a few slices of fresh tomato and a handful of lettuce to give the sandwich a bit of crunch and freshness. Once the sandwich is assembled, top it with the second slice of bread and press down gently to hold everything together. For added flair, you can serve the sandwich with a side of chips or a pickle for that perfect balance of flavors. The roast beef sandwich is a timeless classic, delivering the perfect combination of savory beef, soft bread, and whatever fixings you love most. Whether enjoyed as a simple lunch or served with extra toppings, it never disappoints. Dish number 23, the veggie sandwich. The veggie sandwich is a refreshing, wholesome option that became increasingly popular in the 1970s as people began embracing healthier eating habits. While sandwiches in the 1970s often featured hearty meats and cheeses, the veggie sandwich emerged as a lighter, plant-based alternative that still offered plenty of flavor and satisfaction. Packed with fresh vegetables, spreads, and sometimes cheese or hummus, the veggie sandwich was the perfect choice for anyone looking for a healthy, flavorful lunch that didn't skimp on taste. The beauty of the veggie sandwich was its versatility. You could fill it with just about any vegetables you liked. Crunchy lettuce, ripe tomatoes, cucumbers, and avocado, along with some sprouts or shredded carrots for texture. The sandwich could be dressed with mayonnaise, mustard, or any favorite spread to add flavor. And if you were in the mood for something extra, a slice of cheese or a dollop of hummus would make it even more satisfying. In the 1970s, the rise of vegetarianism and the growing awareness of healthier food choices led to a demand for meals that could satisfy both the stomach and the conscience. The veggie sandwich fit perfectly into this movement, offering a filling yet light alternative to the heavy meat sandwiches of the time. You can make the dish with whole grain bread, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, avocado, sprouts, shredded carrots, hummus or mayonnaise, cheese, optional. Start by selecting a hearty whole grain or multigrain bread for the base of your sandwich. Layer the bread with fresh lettuce leaves, followed by thinly sliced tomatoes, cucumber, and avocado. For added texture and flavor, sprinkle a handful of sprouts and shredded carrots on top. If you want a creamy element, spread hummus or mayonnaise on the inside of the bread slices. You can also add a slice of cheese if you prefer a richer flavor. Once your veggies and spreads are in place, close the sandwich with the second slice of bread, pressing down gently to hold everything together. Serve your veggie sandwich with a side of fresh fruit or chips for a wholesome meal that will leave you feeling satisfied and nourished. The veggie sandwich is the perfect reflection of the 1970s growing interest in healthy eating, and it remains a delicious and nutritious option today. Dish number 24, the shrimp po' boy. The shrimp po' boy is a sandwich that speaks to the heart of Southern cooking, and it was a hit during the 1970s. Originating from Louisiana, this sandwich features crispy, fried shrimp tucked into a soft, fluffy roll, typically dressed with lettuce, tomato, and a tangy remoulade sauce. The shrimp po' boy brings together the rich flavors of the Gulf Coast with the satisfying crunch of fried seafood, making it a beloved dish for anyone who appreciates Southern cuisine. In the 1970s, the po' boy sandwich became an iconic dish, thanks to its combination of flavors and textures. The shrimp, seasoned and fried to perfection, was the star of the show, but it was the soft French bread roll and creamy remoulade sauce that tied everything together. Served cold or hot, the shrimp po' boy was a perfect sandwich to enjoy during a sunny afternoon or as part of a hearty lunch. The key to a great shrimp po' boy lies in the seasoning and the frying process. The shrimp should be coated in a flavorful batter and fried until crispy, but not overcooked. When paired with the crispness of the lettuce and the tangy sauce, it becomes a satisfying meal that delivers layers of flavor in every bite. You can make the dish with shrimp, peeled and deveined, cornmeal, flour, Cajun seasoning, garlic powder, remoulade sauce, or mayonnaise with hot sauce, lettuce, tomato, French bread rolls. Start by seasoning your shrimp with Cajun seasoning, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. In a shallow bowl, combine cornmeal and flour for the breading. Dip each shrimp into the flour mixture, ensuring they're evenly coated. Heat oil in a skillet over medium-high heat and fry the shrimp until golden brown and crispy, about 3 to 4 minutes per side. Remove the shrimp and place them on a paper towel-lined plate to drain any excess oil. While the shrimp are cooling, slice your French bread rolls and spread a generous amount of remoulade sauce on each side. Layer in the crispy shrimp, followed by fresh lettuce and tomato slices. Close the sandwich and serve immediately. The shrimp po' boy is a satisfying, crispy sandwich that brings a little taste of the Gulf Coast to your table. With its perfect combination of flavors and textures, it's no wonder it became so popular in the 1970s. Dish number 25, the grilled veggie sandwich. The grilled veggie sandwich became a favorite in the 1970s as part of the growing trend toward healthier and plant-based meals. It took the classic grilled cheese sandwich and gave it a veggie-forward twist, replacing the usual cheese and processed fillings with grilled vegetables that offered both flavor and nutrition. With the 1970s, marked by an increasing interest in vegetarian diets and wholesome food, the grilled veggie sandwich became a go-to meal for those looking to enjoy a satisfying, meatless option that didn't compromise on flavor. This sandwich is all about the vegetables. The charred flavor of grilled bell peppers, zucchini, mushrooms, and onions adds a depth of flavor that's both smoky and savory. Add a bit of cheese if you wish, or opt for a drizzle of olive oil or pesto for extra richness. The sandwich can be made on any type of bread, but a hearty whole grain or sourdough works especially well to complement the roasted vegetables. Whether served for lunch, dinner, or as part of a casual meal with friends, the grilled veggie sandwich is versatile and can be customized based on the vegetables you have on hand or what's in season. It's a sandwich that lets you enjoy the pure, vibrant flavors of fresh vegetables while offering the satisfaction of a comforting, toasted sandwich. You can make the dish with bell peppers, zucchini, mushrooms, onions, olive oil, salt, pepper, pesto, or mayonnaise, optional. Sandwich bread, whole grain or sourdough, cheese, optional. Start by preparing your vegetables. Slice the bell peppers, zucchini, mushrooms, and onions into thin strips. Toss them with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and grill them on a preheated grill or grill pan until tender and slightly charred, about 5 to 7 minutes. While the vegetables are grilling, lightly toast your sandwich bread until golden brown. If you're using cheese, place a slice on the bread and toast it slightly to melt. Once the vegetables are grilled, layer them on the toasted bread. Add a drizzle of pesto or mayonnaise for extra flavor if desired. Close the sandwich and serve immediately. For added crunch, you can grill the sandwich once more to create a crispy outer layer. The grilled veggie sandwich is a perfect way to enjoy the wholesome flavors of the 1970s, offering a satisfying and nutritious option for anyone seeking a lighter, plant-based meal. And there you have it, 25 sandwiches from the 1970s that took lunchtime to a whole new level. From the comforting simplicity of a tuna salad sandwich to the indulgent layers of a fried chicken sandwich, these creations defined a decade of culinary creativity. The 70s may have been a time of change, but these sandwiches stand the test of time, reminding us that the best meals are often the simplest, made with love and the best ingredients available. Whether you're feeling nostalgic or just in the mood for a hearty, satisfying meal, these sandwiches have something for everyone. So, next time you're looking to take a trip down memory lane or just satisfy that hunger, why not try your hand at one of these delicious classics? You might just find that the 1970s were a golden age for sandwiches after all. Until next time, happy cooking, and may your sandwiches always be as satisfying as a bite of nostalgia.